Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm back again, and I'm here to give you guys a review of WWE Monday Night Raw. And I'm going to stay with the hits and miss concept that I introduced last week. So let's get into it. We'll like usual, we'll start with the misses of the show. The first miss is Mark Henry and David Otunga versus Santino Marella. I just thought this was a complete waste of time, and once again, Teddy Long and John Laurinaitis, they overshadowed the match itself, so it's like, what do we have to look forward to for WrestleMania, you know? I mean, it just seems like, all these guys who have on the roster right now are like playing second fiddle to the GMs, and I just have no interest in this crap. I really don't. It seems like guys like Kofi and Truth and they're not going to play an important role in WrestleMania. I mean, they were going to do this Money in the Bank ladder match, but now, since Wade Barrett got injured, thanks to Big Show, that match has to be scrapped, and this is what we're stuck with. A 12-man tag match between the two GMs, and no one cares about it. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like how talents like Kofi and Truth and guys who just work their tails off get placed into a crappy match. It just kind of bugs me, but oh well, that's WWE for you. My second miss of the night is Zack Ryder and Eve. Their whole backstage segment, saying, with Eve saying, "Oh, Zack, we're just friends with benefits." I mean, yeah, it was funny, but at the same time, I mean, what does this do for Zack Ryder? It just tells the audience that he's completely whipped, that, he's fallen for Eve's charms again, and, he's just going to be, the dumb one in the storyline. So, yeah, but, hopefully Zack Ryder does something meaningful for, either WrestleMania or afterwards. But move on to the next miss, and that is the guest, the special guest from the TV show Psych, James Roday. And no offense to James Roday personally, but I just did not find him to be entertaining for Raw. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen the show Psych before on USA Network, and James Roday is a pretty good actor, but I just did not care for him on Monday Night Raw. I just didn't think his appearance was needed. But then again, I understand why WWE does bring celebrities onto their program, and of course it was to hide the Miz's appearance on Psych, but yeah, I just found James Roday to be underwhelming. And my next miss, and this is a minor one, it's CM Punk versus The Miz. And I didn't think the match was bad, but just the fact that they continue to de-push Miz, like they keep having him lose week after week after week. I mean, I understand that he's not management's favorite guy at the moment, but at the same time, this guy is a draw, whether people want to admit it or not, and you can't keep jobbing the Miz out. I mean, this guy still makes money for the company. He still sells shirts. Granted, he's not the most talented wrestler in the back, but the guy is a draw regardless. And I think that you need to have Miz be in a more useful role than just jobbing out every week. But that's just my opinion. That's my suggestion to the WWE. And my last miss was Randy Orton versus Jack Swagger. I I mean, the match was decent, but at the same time, what does this do for Orton? What does this do for Swagger? You know, Swagger, I mean, wasn't he supposed to go on this big quest to regain his U.S. title? What happened to that? He's dropping Randy Orton. So, I mean, what happened to that whole, I will not sleep until I regain the U.S. title? What happened to that? And then, once again, we had more hype for the Orton-Kane rivalry, which makes no sense at all. You know, I don't understand what is the logical explanation behind them feuding. I mean, you can't just have me buy in just because Kane attacked Orton for no reason. There's got to be some kind of explanation as to why Kane and Orton are feuding. But WWE Creative, you know, they don't come up with anything logical these days, hardly ever. So, I understand why these two are feuding, you know. It's because they have nothing for Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and they have nothing for Kane at WrestleMania. So they just threw these two together, and it pisses me off that they couldn't come up with anything logical for this storyline. So we get this. It's whatever, though. And with that, I'll move on to the hits of the show. And my first hit is John Cena's rap. I mean, it was. I'm telling you what, man. It was cool seeing John Cena, you know, go old school, word life, the Doctor of Thugonomics, and that was pretty cool to see, you know. But at the same time, you know, John Cena, you know, he's been basically saying the same things over and over again, like he's done the last several weeks, you know. But at the same time, it was cool to see John Cena don the Doctor of Thugonomics get up, and he was wearing a Cleveland jersey, and you know, I mean, yeah, you know, it was basically shades of the old John Cena that we saw when he first came into the WWE. So I thought that was pretty cool to see. My next hit is Sheamus versus Dolph Ziggler. This was a pretty nice match. These two gave a hell of an effort out there, and man, Sheamus better take it easy because he took a nasty bump out there on the outside when Dolph threw him into the announce table. Did you see that bruise he had? My man, damn. The big man's gonna have to take it easy after that one, but yeah, it was a pretty damn good match. I liked it. I also liked that Daniel Bryan, that they interviewed him while the match was going on. You know, you gotta keep building towards Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus for WrestleMania. So I felt that it was needed there. But I wish they would have asked him about Sheamus. But instead it was all about, you know, what he said to his girlfriend AJ, you know, telling her to shut up and everything like that. They focused more on that than Sheamus. And I feel as though that you don't need to do that. That's not needed, you know. I mean, I understand that they may be setting up AJ to possibly turn on Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, maybe cost him the world title. I think that might be the direction they're going with this. I don't know. But at the same time, you know, you can't completely ignore Sheamus. So I feel like Daniel Bryan needed to say something more about Sheamus, but it is what it is. But like I said, it was a pretty nice match between these two, and it's the match of the night for me. And Dolph Ziggler, you know, I think it was one of my Twitter followers mentioned that Ziggler is one of those few guys in the WWE that can lose and still maintain all of his credibility. And I think that's mainly due in part that Dolph looks so great in losing. It's just phenomenal. I mean, the guy sells his opponent's moves better than anyone in the business right now. I mean, this guy's selling is just tremendous. Dolph, in my opinion, he's like the number 2 performer right now, for me at least. I mean, the guy just does his thing night in and night out, and he's one of the best that WWE has right now. So, but yeah, him and Sheamus had a pretty good match. Sheamus won with a bro kick. and I'm glad they finally put Sheamus up against someone who is actually worth more of a challenge, because in the previous weeks they've been having him face guys like Jinder Mahal and Mark Henry. You know, I mean, you need to give him stronger opponents. Sheamus needs to look strong as possible heading into WrestleMania, and I feel like he hasn't looked that strong. But they put him up against Dolph Ziggler tonight and put on one hell of a performance. But I'll move on to the next hit, and that is Brodus Clay. Brodus Clay made his return to Raw this week, and he squashed Jinder Mahal in like 3 seconds, you know. And man, everyone got excited for Funkasaurus. See, I mean, I know a lot of people, you know, don't like the gimmick, and there's a lot of people who like the gimmick. And I think Brodus is really over right now with that gimmick, and I think a lot of people dig it and they like it, and it's just gonna take Brodus to new heights, and I hope to see him come contend for a championship down the line, you know, because what he's bringing to the table right now is something new. Yeah, it might be over the top, but at the same time, you know, he's doing something different. You know, he's not the same typical babyface, you know, like Cena or Orton. You know, he's doing something different, and I like that. I mean, I wasn't too thrilled with the gimmick at first, but you know, I look at it more and I see the good it's doing, and I like the direction now. So Brodus Clay, keep doing your thing, man. It's working out. And my next hit is the Shawn Michaels and Undertaker confrontation. I thought it was very well done, and I think it's interesting because Undertaker, you know, he told Shawn Michaels, you know, if the outcome of my match with Triple H at WrestleMania isn't pure, there will be hell to pay. And Shawn, if you mess with this match in any fashion, I will end you. And man, I'm telling you, I mean, this storyline has gotten more interesting by the week. You know, Shawn Michaels, you know, he's playing mind games with the Undertaker. You know, he's saying, you know, I mean, you ended my career, but I could very well, you know, pin your shoulders to the mat. You know, I could count you out, and who knows? I might be the reason why the streak ends. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty interesting dynamic that Shawn Michaels brings into this. I mean, I know me and my boy Lucas the Menace. Me and my man Lucas, we talked about you know, about this on WV Lowdown, and you know, we said that Shawn Michaels didn't necessarily need to be involved in this, but at the same time, it's kind of interesting to see what kind of a role he's going to play in all of this. So, but yeah, the segment overall was pretty good, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens next week and the weeks leading up to WrestleMania. So, something to look forward to there. And by the way, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker will all be there next week at Raw. And there will be a prediction for the end of an era. And my next hit is Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, that promo he delivered on CM Punk after Punk's match with Miz, phenomenal work. Just simply phenomenal heel work there by Chris Jericho, and wow, the execution was just great. It was just grand right there. It was gold. It was on the money, and this is the genius of Chris Jericho. This is where his what is the word I'm looking for? This is where his charisma comes into play here. See, Chris Jericho can play a perfectly good guy, or he can play a perfectly good bad guy. And he played a perfectly good bad guy here. And I mean, I'm not a fan of a wrestler's personal shit being broadcasted on TV. You know, I'm not a fan of that at all. And over the last several years, I've been, you know, bothered by that. Like for example, when TNA, when, you know, they had the whole Kurt Angle, Jeff Jarrett storyline, and Karen Jarrett was involved in all that, and the kids were shown, and TNA, in my opinion, took that to a level that didn't need to be taken to. And of course, last year when they had the Michael Cole versus Jerry the King Lawler storyline, and Cole mentioned, you know, something about King's mother passing away, I felt that that was going a little too far there. But you know, but in this occasion, you know, it just further enhances the storyline between CM Punk and Chris Jericho. You know, Jericho's bringing up, you know, how CM Punk's dad's an alcoholic, and he's nothing more than a pathetic damn drunk, and Punk's going to be the same way after Jericho, you know, takes his championship and reclaims his title as the best in the world and leaves Punk a broken man. I just felt that was great work by Chris Jericho, and this storyline has now gotten more interesting, and we'll have to see how it all pans out from there. And CM Punk actually tweeted about this. You know, he told you know, Jericho to have no sympathy for him. I mean, he told the fans to have no sympathy for him, and that he's going to kick Chris Jericho's ass. Now to get out of the kayfabe and the storyline and all that, and kind of talk about this a little. CM Punk, you know, he has acknowledged in past interviews that his dad has been an alcoholic and stuff like that, and that's one of the reasons, you know, he has adopted the straight edge lifestyle. And if you don't know what straight edge is, then you've been living under a fucking rock for years now, because CM Punk lives, breathes, and shits straight edge. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't do drugs, and that's been his motto, you know, for a long time now. And so yeah, I mean, this is why it's this element of the storyline, you know, has become personal, you know, with Punk's dad being an alcoholic and stuff like that, you know. But it's gonna be interesting to see what Jericho does with this in the weeks to come, leading up to WrestleMania. And yeah. Now I'll go on to my last hit of the show, and that was the Rock concert. Now, I have to say that only The Rock could make the Teletubbies relevant for one night only. Oh, man. Man, I mean, say what you want about The Rock, but no matter what he does, Rock is pretty damn funny and entertaining, and he's always had that gift. And it reminded me of the past Rock concerts back when he was the Rock Hollywood character, and you know, he was wearing the sunglasses and the leather vest and the black pants, and you know, he was basically doing the same thing he did tonight, you know. And I liked the jokes he cracked on Cena. I thought it was pretty funny and stuff like that. But however, the downside of the segment is, like, you know, what does this really do for the match? You know, and you could say the same thing about Cena as well. You know, I mean, what does this do for the match? You know, I mean, yeah, it was entertaining, yeah, but what does this do for the match? Like, does it? I mean, okay. I want to pose this question to everyone right now that's watching this video. Did the John Cena rap and the Rock concert, did it make you want to shell out $50-$60 to watch their match at the pay-per-view? Leave that in the comment. Did those two statements right there make you want to pay $50, $60 to see their match at WrestleMania? Let me know. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty entertaining segment overall, and I wouldn't expect anything less from The Rock. But as far as the overall show went, there was some stuff I didn't like, but overall it wasn't a bad show, and I'm gonna have to give it the same rating that I gave last week's Raw, and that was a 6 out of 10. And that's gonna do it for me. And guys, don't forget to check out WrestlingInventions.com. I'll be posting this Hits and Misses edition on there as well, so you can leave me comments and feedback on there as well about this, and take care. And oh yeah, and remember this: clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. Peace.